He used a towel to block the exhaust pipe. Then he started the car and pressed the gas pedal to the floor. As large amounts of exhaust gas poured in, the man's consciousness began to blur. He wanted to use this method to leave the insurance money to his wife and daughters. But in his daze, he heard knocking on the car window. When he opened his eyes again, he found himself back in high school. Not only did he look 20 years younger, but even his lame leg had been restored. Will walked through the high school campus. Classmates all greeted him warmly, because at this time, he was the star player of the football team. He not only had extremely high popularity at school, but even the school belle was his girlfriend. Will couldn't believe he had actually traveled through time. When he came to the coach's office, he learned that the game that ruined his career would take place this weekend. In that game, Will single-handedly turned the tide in the final 5 seconds. He completed an incredible comeback and helped the town win the state championship. But his left leg was severely deformed when crushed by an opponent during the game. Although Will became the town's hero, his lame leg would accompany him for life. His bright future was ruined in an instant. To make a living, Will had no choice but to farm on his family's farm. Fortunately, he still had a loving wife and 2 adorable daughters. To give his wife and daughters a better life, Will took out a loan to plant soybeans on the farm. If the soybeans had a good harvest, he would make a lot of money. But the soybeans had been slow to mature, and his loan was already overdue. To avoid greater losses, he needed to harvest the beans as soon as possible. But the town's only harvester was broken. The series of setbacks gave Will suicidal thoughts. To ensure his insurance money would go to his wife and daughters, Will decided to stage an accident. So he used a towel to block the exhaust pipe. But what he didn't expect was that this action would transport him back 20 years. Since heaven had given him another chance, Will decided to defy fate this time. Although he hadn't trained for 20 years, his former talent allowed him to quickly adapt to the field's rhythm. His young body was full of vitality. Will coordinated brilliantly with his teammates and won the scrimmage. When training ended, Will saw his wife. Macy! But at this time, his wife didn't know him yet. Faced with Will's approach, Mia politely declined, because everyone knew Will had a school belle girlfriend.